Welcome back to the channel, you dirty beanbags. I was in retirement, but I got pulled out of retirement. And why did I get pulled out of retirement? Because if you scroll through YouTube right now and you look in the Pokemon space, there is so many videos from so many creators who are talking about the Pokemon market, whether it's going to crash, the boom, the cost of sealed product, packs, scalpers, all of these different topics, right? So I've been in semi-retirement. You guys made me come out of retirement, and this is just a unscripted semi-rant video talking about what I'm looking at right now. By the way, there's going to be noise in the background because I'm just parked up randomly and I just wanted to make this video. Anyway, one of the things I've noticed is a lot of people complaining about the pack price right now for sealed packs, and also the cost of booster boxes, right? Destined Rivals being the talk of the town. And might be a hot take, might not be, but booster boxes at £250 a box are worth £250 a box. My main qualm in all of this is, guys, we make the market. The players, the collectors, the investors, even the scalpers. Now, talking about scalpers, a great segue. I'll finish my point anyway. If booster boxes are at $250 a box, that's what they're worth. For very, very long, we've been very privileged and we've been very lucky to be able to buy booster boxes at £100, $100, £110, $110. But when you think about the value that you can potentially pull from a box, and also the amount of people that have now come into the space, you know, the box being at $250 isn't really that big a deal. Look at other TCGs. Look at Magic the Gathering, for example. Collector boosters don't have an MSRP. I don't know if you didn't know that, but here's news for you. There's no set MSRP for Magic collector boxes, collector booster boxes, essentially, right? You buy them at wholesale. Wholesale in the UK is roughly about £300. I was able to buy, obviously, Final Fantasy. I've just got my Spider-Man come through. Well, it should be arriving soon. And you know, they're roughly £300 a box, but there's no MSRP on there. There's no guideline as to what they must be sold for. Now, when you think about it, a collector booster box is, you know, £400-500 there or thereabouts for crappy sets. If Final Fantasies, it was a unique situation, and you know, Spider-Man's obviously going to still be not as valuable as, you know, for Final Fantasy, for example, but still nonetheless £400-500 for that box. But it's not set by the manufacturer. But when you consider you get 36 packs, average booster box will have between 12 to 14 hits. You know, you might get lucky and pull an SIR or a valuable IR. And at £250, when you compare it to something like Magic, that's not really a bad proposition. And besides the point, the scalpers, and a lot of people talk about scalpers, you know, affecting the market and them being the reason for this problem. They aren't the problem, not the only problem. They're one of the problems. But how much allocation do you think scalpers get? Okay, bots buy up stuff on the Pokemon Center, but where does a majority of the stock go to? It goes to big box retailers. It goes to LGSs, LCSs, shops, and they're distributing that product out to the public, to the end user, to you. So majority of product probably goes to retail, not to scalpers. And if the secondary market is £250 or $250, it's that price because people are willing to pay that price. People like you and I. Okay? We make the market. I'm going to keep repeating it. We make the market. Okay? So with that being said, you know, what do you do when it is out of your reach? Remember, Pokemon cards are a luxury item. It's not an existential necessity. We can survive without it, and we'll be perfectly fine without any shiny cardboard in our lives for enjoyment or other purposes. With that being said, I get why people rip it. I'm a degen. I love ripping packs, but what am I doing now? So I'm not willing to pay £250-300 for a set that's just come out. So I'm buying singles instead. I'm looking at vintage PSA 10 cards. I'm looking at cards that I like that I never bought. I'm looking at deals on eBay, as well as Facebook Marketplace for singles that I like the artwork of, that I want to be able to collect. Also potentially that I think will hold good value and increase in the future. That's what I'm doing. Look, the point of this video is this, right? The market is driven by buyers and sellers. If everybody that was trying to sell the product for what would seem as a highly inflated price, and the people on the other end were not buying them at those prices, then naturally those prices would drop. Now the problem we have is there's more people, there's more coverage, it's in the media, and we see things like Destin Rivals at 650 for that reason. And that's not typically a bad thing. It means that the IP is strong, it's very much in demand, and I can't wait for it to drop. But if it doesn't drop, this is the new norm, and people are just going to have to get used to it. So that was it. That's my quick little 7-minute video on what I think about the market right now. The price is just what it is, and there's nothing we can do about it unless Pokemon Company do one of two things. One is they print everything, absolutely, they just put everything on hold and they print everything into the ground. Destin Rivals, the Mega Sets, you know, the latter end of Scarlet and Violet, or they just raise MSRP to keep up with the market, because those are one of the two things that's probably going to happen, because what they're doing is they're a for-profit business who are leaving a lot of money on the table, and perhaps booster boxes are just worth £250, but we're just not used to it. That's all I have for you, beanbags. Take care. I'll have a video coming for you soon, because you guys put me out of retirement. You just cast the rod, reeled me in, and here I am. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.